Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It is time for the divisional round predictions. We had a nice wild card weekend full of not many upsets. I think the only upset, I don't even know if the Packers and Bears was technically an upset. I think maybe Jags Bills. Outside of that, though, every game kind of went as most people thought. Well, another upset I think would be 49ers Eagles. Most people, including myself, other than like some people, of course, thought the Eagles were going to win the game, but they didn't. Their offense sucked. AJ Brown dropped a crucial pass on third down, crucial catch on third down, and the Eagles' season comes fumbling down. The Packers had a generational type fumble. I was watching the game on my phone at work during my break and stuff, and I saw this collapse unfold in real time. It was 21-3 at halftime. I'm like, okay, the Bears, they're done. They're clearly proving that they're not ready for playoff football. The Packers are manhandling them, and the game will probably end with 35 to like 17 or something. Nope. Not even close. Packers choked majorly, and they're done. Packers, I'd be looking at Matt LaFleur and go like, with him at coach, they've been the seventh seed every time. They've never been good enough to be any higher. I feel like there definitely has to be a little bit of a conversation. Maybe. Good head coaches are hard to find, though, and Matt LaFleur isn't a terrible coach, but his second half play calling is awful. You choked to the Bears twice. Now, granted, in round two, which is the first time they choked, they didn't have Jordan Love near the end of the game. You get a slight pass for that one, but you still choked it nevertheless. And then in this one, you're in playoff football where shit matters more, and you choke. When it comes to the Bills and Jags, Jags fought hard, but it wasn't enough. I would say, if you're a Jags fan, I'd be a little happy with the year. Obviously, the ending wasn't perfect, but listen. Made it to the playoffs, had one of the best years in a long time for your franchise, for your team. I'd be somewhat satisfied. I know the outcome wasn't perfect, but it gives time for this team to improve. And when it comes to the 49ers Eagles, the Eagles might have a lot to work on. I believe they fired their offensive coordinator, so I don't know what's going to happen to A.J. Brown, but there's already been rumors about him being traded. I feel like this season was his last season with the Eagles, probably. I feel like there's a lot of frustration. But anyways, let's get to our first game. We'll talk about more other stuff later. We got the Bills and the Broncos. 1 seed versus 6 seed? 6 seed, right? I think so. 6 seed. This is a uphill battle for the Bills, I think. I think the only thing... I'm trying not to sound biased towards the Broncos. I'm not even a Broncos fan, but I really think their defense is elite. And the X factor for the Bills is Josh Allen. The Bills receivers are not Justin Jefferson. They're not Jackson Smith and Jigba. They're not Puka Nacua. They're not any of those guys. They're not horrible, but they're serviceable receivers, but not big time receivers. And that's the problem for the Bills. Is that I don't know if their receivers is good enough to break through this defense. Now, granted, you have Josh Allen and James Cook, who's a pretty solid running back. And people will say, "Oh, well, Bo Nix ain't that good. He's average." Like, okay, you can be an average quarterback and just lean on that elite defense. It don't matter. It does not matter. And people try to always mention what happened in Week 18 with the Seahawks and 49ers. People say, "Oh, well, Sam Darnold didn't play that well." Like, he doesn't have to when his defense only lets up 3 points. He doesn't have to play elite. He doesn't have to throw 3 touchdowns. He doesn't have to throw for 400 yards. And it's the same thing for Bo Nix. Granted, holding back the Bills like that is hard. And the Bills are a great team, and Josh Allen's a great quarterback. They are ready for playoff football. And we all know what happened last time. The Bills throttled the Chiefs. Not the Chiefs, the Broncos. But I'm going to be honest. This is not the best case scenario for the Bills. I think... I'm going to be honest. I am leaning with the Broncos. I think their defense is good. Not good. Their defense is elite. They shut down teams, and they find ways to win games. Even if they're down, they find a way to come back and win. Their defense keeps them in games. And I look at this Bills team, I just don't think there's enough on the offense. Now, again, Josh Allen is the X factor. If the Bills win, it is because of Josh Allen doing something Josh Allen-like. And again, I like Josh Allen. He's a great quarterback. But I feel like the road possibly ends here. They're playing in Denver. The stadium, they have home field advantage. Obviously, the Broncos have home field advantage. They have a little special effect to their home field advantages, of course, the altitude and stuff. And the weather, of course. I just don't think this is an easy game for the Bills. It's not. And I'm going to be honest, I think their road ends here. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, Bills fans. I'm sorry, Josh Allen. But the Broncos are a different beast. Their defense can certainly carry them to the Super Bowl. I've seen a lot of people say, oh, well, they're not that good. Yeah, their offense can sometimes be stagnant, but their defense shows up when they need to. And I just feel like this is the type of game where their defense is going to show up. Josh Allen, I think they can keep it close. I think the Bills could certainly keep it close. But at the end of the day, I have the Denver Broncos beating the Buffalo Bills and advancing to the AFC Championship game. Our next game I'm truly excited for. We got the San Francisco 49ers versus the Seattle Seahawks in the divisional round in Seattle. Unfortunately, I work at 5 on this day for this game. I work exactly at 5. And I'm like, oh man. You know, like my schedule, I was able to watch mostly almost every single regular season game, but then the moments the playoffs hit around, oh, we're going to schedule you every single day. How wonderful, right? I just wanted to look at the stats. So a lot of people say, oh, Darnold didn't play particularly well. He didn't. He played just fine. He didn't make a mistake. The Seahawks run game exploded during this day. Jackson Smith and Jigba played well. And you look at the Niners. They couldn't do anything against the Seahawks defense. And people try to say the Niners offense is elite. And I won't say their offense is horrible, but the Seahawks defense, they shut them down. Chris McCaffrey had 23 yards. And they say, oh, well, they did well against the Eagles. So, like, yeah, the Eagles are not very good this year. Obviously, you guys know I'm a Seahawks fan. I'm going to try my best to be as not as biased as possible, but let's be real. The 49ers have a big problem. George Kittle unfortunately suffered an injury and will be out for this game. Now, they are getting Ricky Pearsall back, but let's be real. I mean, George Kittle's like a huge part of their offense, and I'm not saying just because he's not there, though, I'm not going to lose. They're still going to lose with or without him. Let's be real. Listen, Brock Purdy was harassed. The offense couldn't do anything. The running game did not exist. The passing game, you had a couple moments, here and there. But there's never a time in the game where you felt like the Niners can come back. And the only time that you felt that was maybe when they were pushing down the field when that ball was tipped and intercepted. That was the only time the 49ers were close to getting a touchdown. The Seahawks defense fed on them all day. And then on the other side, the 49ers defense, they couldn't catch a break. Sure, they held the Seahawks to 13 points. But the running game took time off the clock. They converted on crucial second downs and third downs, and they were able to do what they had to do. The scores would have been a little bit higher for the Seahawks if they didn't go for it on fourth down, and Jason Myers didn't miss like 2 field goals or whatever. I think he missed like 2. I think, and did he miss an extra point? I don't think so, right? I don't remember. Point being, though, the score would have been a tad higher. And again, I just think the Niners. I just don't think their offense is enough to win. Let's be real. And I know Trent Williams is back. But is he going to make up for the entire offensive line being slightly mid? No, absolutely not. Ricky Pearsall being back helps. They might be able to put up a little bit more points this time, maybe because they know it's a much more important game than Week 18. But this is in Seattle. All right, tough environment to play. Home field advantage, loud stadium, elite defense, an offense that can score on you at any moment, and a running game that's starting to wake up. Sam Darnold, I know people say, oh, 0-1, 0-1. Like, yeah, he's had one playoff game with a Vikings team that's known for choking. And I'm not going to diss Brock Purdy, but let's look at, the 49ers Super Bowl record. 0-3 in, the last 10, 15 years. They lost to the Ravens, lost to the Chiefs, lost to the Chiefs again. Got throttled by the Eagles one time in the championship game. Granted, Brock Purdy got hurt, but even if he didn't get hurt, they still would have been throttled. But let's just get reality set in. All right, this Seahawks defense, they're elite. This Seahawks defense is a legendary unit, and they won't let the 49ers win. Sam Darnold doesn't have to have a 300-yard game. He doesn't have to have 4 touchdowns. He could easily win this game with just 1. He could easily win this game with just 1 or 2, maybe. Let that defense feast. That's all I got to say. The Seahawks defense is good enough to win this game. The Seahawks defense is good enough to win a championship. They always say defense wins championships. And I just look at the 49ers defense. They're solid, all right? They held the Seahawks to 13 points. But, again, missed field goal, went forward on fourth down, missed field goal. Could have been a little bit higher. 49ers offense, I just think when Purdy's out of rhythm, there's absolutely nothing for this offense. When Purdy is out of rhythm and the running game to Christian or the passing game to Christian McCaffrey isn't working, there's not a lot to this offense. And George Kittle, he is a weapon that they use to stretch the field. He's not going to be there. Now, I know they have a solid backup tight end, but I just don't think there's enough. In this defense, I'm pretty sure Kobe Bryant wasn't playing in Week 18. I think he was hurt. I actually can't confirm. I don't remember. But obviously, they had to bye. They had time to rest. Everyone is healthy for the Seahawks, of course. I'm going to be, again, I think the Seahawks win this game. Very clear and obvious. My apologies. I just realized my headphones weren't connected. I don't think it makes much of a difference in recording, so I hope there's not too much of an audio change. But anyways, I got the Seattle Seahawks winning this game. The defense is great. I mean, this defense is elite. They can 100% carry the Seahawks all the way. So, yeah, let's be real. Seahawks win this game. I got the Seattle Seahawks beating the San Francisco 49ers and advancing to the NFC Championship game. All right, here we have another exciting matchup. We got the Houston Texans versus the New England Patriots. Patriots handled business against the Chargers, which they flooded. Chargers, they might just be one of the worst playoff teams I've seen in recent years. They make it, and then they just can't capitalize. I don't know what the problem is. Is it Justin Herbert? He's a great quarterback. I just wonder why every time they make the playoffs, they can't perform. And the Texans obviously handled the Steelers. Now, with this game, it's a bit of a tough matchup in my opinion. I mean, we got two great teams, okay? The Patriots, they are one of the rising teams in this year, of course. They're one of the best teams in the league. A lot of people think they could honestly go to the Super Bowl. I honestly don't, I'm not against that. I think it could happen. It's just the road for them is tough. Because first, they obviously have to play the Texans. And they'll either have to play the Bills or the Broncos in the AFC Championship game. And then they'll obviously have to play someone from the NFC. It'll be a tough road if they can get there, but honestly, it'd be pretty impressive if they do, especially the season they had last year and the year before. With this game in particular, I look at it and the Texans defense, I mean, they're fucking good. Let's just get it straight. They're fucking good. Something tells me I want them, but something tells me I want the Patriots as well, so we're going to discuss it. Drake May has been having a wonderful year, and this Patriots team has been a resurging team. And no one really expected it. People were like, oh, they have an easy schedule. They'll probably be like a wild card team, 10, 7, 11, 6. No, they win the division. They're like what are they, the 3 seed? Are they? They're like the 3 seed, right? Yeah. Point being, they win the division. They win way more games than people expect. And they've had a great year. They've also beat the Bills and a couple handful of good teams on the long way. Despite having that easy schedule, they've won good games. Now, they're in the playoffs. They're facing an elite defense. CJ Stroud, he didn't play particularly fantastic against the Steelers, but they found a way to win with their defense. And that's the thing. Their defense is fully capable of shutting down any team. And their defense is fully capable of keeping the Texans in any game, no matter how stagnant the offense is. With this game in particular, I don't really know which direction to go. Because again, it's just like the Bills and Jags game from last week. Something really wanted me to pick the Jags. But a part of me leaned with the Bills, but at the end of the day, I gave in and took I took the Jags. That was wrong, of course. Defense does win championships, guys. Defense does win championships, but the problem is the defense can't just be relied to bail out the Texans every time. The Texans' offense hasn't been particularly well this year, but their defense has been fantastic. Something at this moment in time is leaning me towards the Patriots because Mike Vrabel has turned this team around for the best, and he's honestly been a shining star for this team. Now you look at the Texans, their defense is again elite, an elite unit. Defense does indeed win championships, or at least they'll get you to championships. Now, obviously the offense has to show up too if you want to win, but defense can get you to a championship, and they can win you a championship. Nothing against the Patriots defense, they're a solid unit, but the good part for them is they're playing a stagnant, sometimes weak Texans offense. And I'm pretty sure a wide receiver for the Texans has been officially ruled out for the divisional game. I don't remember who. It was Nico Collins, I think. I don't remember who it was. That makes the task a little bit difficult for the Texans. Their offense is a little damaged, but their defense is fully capable of winning the game. Now, again, which side prevails? The on fire New England Patriot offense or that strong, stiff defense of the Houston Texans? And I generally couldn't tell you because I generally don't fucking know. I sit here go like, which team do I got, man? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. The Patriots have home field advantage. So they have that. Gillette Stadium, is that still the name? I'm pretty sure they haven't changed it. Why would I think that? It's a pretty solid, pretty hard environment to play in. It might be cold as well. Texans are used to playing indoors. They're a warm state team. Well, no, Texas can get cold too, of course. But The weather, I don't know if it's going to affect this game heavily. I don't know the weather in the area. But as I think right now, something still tells me the Patriots. My gut's telling me Patriots. My head's telling me Texans. Last time, I listened to my head, I think, and I picked the Jags. Or maybe it was one of the two. At this moment in time, Drake May is a great quarterback, and I feel like this year he's been performing way better than CJ Stroud. All right, that's not a hot take. I think that's a pretty simple take that most people can agree with. Drake May has had a fantastic year. He has had a wonderful year. Now, granted, that Texans defense has turned quarterbacks who are having a good year to having a bad day. Not all the time, though, of course, because I'm going to be honest. I'm going to go with the Patriots. I'm already just leaning in that direction. I know the Texans defense is good. I know. But Drake May. Drake May. Or Drake May. I'm fucking up the joke, guys. I'm sorry. I trust. I think this. I think the Patriots have it. I think Drake May has been having a great year. This Texans defense. They can't just be relied to carry the Texans offense and limp them to victory. It's not going to work every time, especially against good teams. The Steelers in particular are not an elite team. Mike Tomlin stepped down. I actually almost forgot about that. That's so crazy. I wonder where he's going to go next. But nevertheless, I got the Patriots winning this game and advancing to the AFC Championship game to face off the Denver Broncos. Hopefully, at least in my prediction, if I'm right. All right, our next and final game for the day, we have the cold game. The Los Angeles Rams going to face off against the Chicago Bears in an extremely cold Chicago game. Now, let's get into it. The Rams won against the Carolina Panthers. And here's a picture of the weather. I don't know how accurate it is, but it's going to be fucking cold, essentially, okay? It's going to be cold. Rams, they play in LA. It's warm there almost all the time. And sure, you could say, well, they go to play in cold places. Yeah, but this is really, really cold. Like, really, granted, Matthew Stafford used to play in the NFC North for a good chunk of his career. He's used to playing in this cold. But not like this late in the season, because not like the Lions made the playoffs that often back then. Especially against the Bears, who also didn't make the playoffs that often back then. So let's get into it. The Bears, obviously, we all know they had their incredible comeback against the Packers. Let's be real. The Rams are a better team than the Packers. If the Rams jump out to a big lead, will the Bears be able to come back? Who knows? I'm not going to instantly doubt them because in this game, as a Seahawks fan, I want the Rams to lose in reality. Now, whether I pick the Rams or not, deep down, no matter what, I want them to lose. All right? This is being real. I'm sure the Rams feel the same way. Oh, well, great. It's like face the Seahawks or face the 49ers. You're facing your divisional rival nevertheless. But this game's going to be cold as shit. All right? It's going to be freezing. Also, I just got to take a cut. Halo Reach Rat. Say hi to the Halo Reach Rat, guys. Anyways, this game, again, it's going to be freezing. Now, again, Matthew Stafford, he's played in the NFC North for a chunk of his career, almost all of it. He's played in Green Bay, Chicago, and, of course, Minnesota when they used to be outside for a little bit. I think Didn't their stadium collapse and they had to be outside for a little bit? I don't know if they ever had to play outside. But point being, they play in the cold part of the country. Now, people say, the Rams almost beat the Eagles last year in the snow, in the heavy snow. Yeah, that's true. But this is, really, really cold. This is way colder than that game. Now, I think weather will affect both teams just because the Bears play in Chicago doesn't make them 100% immune to it because mistakes will happen. It's just you wonder, who do you trust more? The Bears, who are sometimes a shaky team. Granted, they've been solid all year. Okay, they've been solid all year other than their 0-2 start. But their start against the Packers is not ideal. You don't want to start a playoff game like that. And I feel like if you face a team like the Rams, who aren't super known for choking that often, I think they would have let it happen. I would honestly say Sean McVay is probably a better coach than Matt LaFleur currently. And the Rams, again, they're not known for choking games that often. And I don't think they've ever choked a game like that. Although the only game I could say that they choked was the Seahawks game. But let's be real. The Rams are a good team. They are an elite team. They know what's at stake. But the weather, all right, it's bad. Will they prevail? Caleb Williams is, again, he's had a solid year. Okay, he's had a solid year. He hasn't been perfect, but he's done what he has to do to win, and he's been hung in the ruck with precision and honestly excitement. He's been doing well. Now, again, the Rams are a good team. Puka Nacua having a great year, all right, and Matthew Stafford having a great year, arguably MVP possibly. We'll see. At the end of the day, he's definitely in the list. He has to be at least top 3 for potential MVP. But right now, I know I'm rambling. It's generally because I don't know who to pick, guys. I don't know who to pick. Because I think about that weather, and it generally could affect the Rams. It could affect them hard. They don't have to play in this type of weather super duper often. Like where it's like extremely cold. Because not all the time, but sometimes when they get lucky. A team from a cold area has to come play in LA. They get a home game maybe. Or they often, again, don't have to play in weather this awful. Now, granted, teams practice for this stuff all the time during the offseason and during the season, of course. They prepare for bad weather games. Just in case, for this scenario, if they get to the playoffs and they have to play outside and deal with the weather. Matthew Stafford, it's just like the last game. Something's telling me Rams, something tells me Bears. Which side am I going to listen to? It's like I have a devil on my shoulder and an angel on my other shoulder. One's telling me, pick the Bears. And the other one's like, no, pick the Rams. Because I'm not picking my divisional rival, but I might, just for the sake of predictions. But deep down, I want them to lose, no matter what. Anyways, Matthew Stafford has had a good year. Puka Nacua has had a good year. Rams defense, pretty solid. You look at the Bears, their defense is also pretty solid. They can create important takeaways out of nowhere. And their offense is fully capable of scoring on you because, well, they have a solid offense. They have 3 good receivers, a solid running game, and Caleb Williams is really coming to his own. I don't know where to go, guys. All right. Listen. Something's telling me. To pick. Fuck, man. I don't know where to go. Rams have had a great year. I mean, they almost won the division. They kind of lost a few important games near the end. The Bears, they won their division, of course, for the first time, I think, since 2018, 2019, something like that. Not 2019. Maybe it was 2019. Or maybe it was just 2018, I think. I don't remember. It doesn't really matter. Point being, they don't win their division that often. This weather, again, will affect the Bears and the Rams, okay? Just because, again, they play in that weather often doesn't mean they're perfect. Will playoff pressure hit them? They survived one round. They've survived the wild card, but that's because the Packers choked. Something tells me if the Rams get to a lead, they won't choke. Likely. They might, but they easily could. But I'm gonna pick the Chicago Bears to win. Because you know what? Fuck the Rams. Okay. I'm being real. I'm gonna go with the Chicago Bears. This is such a bold take. This is a really bold hot take. I think the Bears can find a way to stretch through this Rams defense, which isn't particularly elite. The Rams do not have an elite defense. They have a solid defense, but they don't have an elite defense. Bryce Young was able to. I mean, the Panthers, they held the Rams on their toes. They almost got them. I think the Bears, they can find a way to win. They've been doing that the last few weeks, and I think they'll do it here. I know this is a hot take, but this is also me speaking as a Seahawks fan. So of course I don't want the Rams to succeed. Why would I? Anyways, yeah, I have the Chicago Bears beating the Los Angeles Rams and advancing to the NFC Championship game. Now, that is my divisional predictions. I know you could say, I don't know, ball. And I'm sorry if I was super silent earlier. Again, I did not know who to pick. I was thinking, and I had to think critically, and I decided to go with the Bears. Now, you might say that's not critically thinking. But with this type of game, generally, it is 50-50. It's a 50-50 game, in my opinion, because either team can come out on top. But right now, I have the Chicago Bears. So that does it. I'll see you guys next week for the Wild Championship prediction. I have more videos coming soon, I think, although we are a little backed up on stuff. Well, we're not backed up. I just dropped a video yesterday. More shit's happening with Greenland and Trump, so who knows? I'm going to have to talk about it again. A lot of shit's going on politically, so the next few videos might be political theme, I guess. We might be talking about Trump and shit, you know. He made a joke saying about canceling the midterms. I'm sure he's joking, but you never really know anymore because he used to joke about taking Greenland down. He's dead ass serious. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you guys in the next day. The next video, not next day. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching, and have a great rest of your day.